Hi, everyone. My name is TJ Wright of TJ Wright Quilts. I'm an art quilt pattern designer and art quilter. And there's so
And
many new people who've subscribed to my channel, and I just thought I wanted to share who I am with you and hopefully get to know you better. Find out what it is that inspires you. So, if you'd be so kind, leave a comment below. Introduce yourself to me. Um, Share with me what topics that you're looking for. Maybe there are topics that I can expand on and we can both find some inspiration from. So I'd love it if you would leave a comment and tell me what you're interested in. I, like a lot of you, have sewn my whole life. I've never lived in a house without a sewing machine in it. One of the things that's really important to me about this channel that I've created is that I want it to be an inclusive environment where people can come and share what's inspiring them, that it's a safe place, that you can share your ideas, that I can share my ideas with you, and that you'll find inspiration from it. You don't have to do it just like me. You may not agree with everything I have to say, and that's just fine. We're all individuals. We all have our own opinions and our own ways of doing things. There are no quilt police here. I will always show up with kindness regardless. It's quilting. We're cutting up fabric and sewing it back together again. It's supposed to be fun. I loved to sew as a child and would make my clothes, and eventually my skills got better and I was tailoring suits for myself for work. My profession and what I've done for over 30 years is that of a hairstylist and master hair colorist. And so we used to dress very upscale, and really was a big part of our image was how we dressed. So I sewed a lot of my suits that I wore. The industry has gotten rather casual, and so have I, and I'm kind of in the twilight of my career, so I no longer sew suits, but I still wanted to sew. And then I started doing quilting. Initially, I would do a quilt here and a quilt there, and a lot of times they would be baby quilts for my friends whose children were having children. I myself have no children. I am a dog mom. I have 3 dogs, and one of my dogs is with me in my studio all the time. His name is Bullet. He's a little Chihuahua, and he has sewn his whole life. Actually, he was raised in my quilt studio, so there's a little fun fact about me. But after a while, I wanted to challenge myself a little bit more. So I started art quilting and finding my voice. And I would be so inspired by quilts that I would see on Pinterest or in Art Quilts magazine. And so I decided to take a little beginning quilt class, and I learned some of the basics there and just kind of took off. And would do art quilts. I've sold a few, some have been raffled off. I wish I had documented more of those along the way, but sadly I didn't. But now I do. I document as much as I can, and I hope that you're doing that with your quilt journey as well. So a few years back, I saw that there was a huge online community of quilters, and that was really intriguing to me. And so I started engaging with some of these quilters and found out that people were doing pattern testing for quilt pattern designers. I thought that was fascinating. And ultimately, I ended up taking a class to learn how to write patterns. And here I am today. So I do create patterns for bed quilts, but my love and my passion is art quilting. And it all started with that I found these panels, these beautiful panels, and that had been printed on quilting cotton. The fabric line was produced by Northcott, and they were these beautiful hand-painted flowers, a sunflower, an iris, and a magnolia. And I was really inspired by them, but I didn't quite know what to do with them. And I thought, what was the thinking behind this? What is the trend with this? And was it just to quilt it do follow some of the lines and quilt it and put a binding and hang it on the wall. And it would have been beautiful just like that because it was gorgeous. I definitely loved it. But it it sparked some creativity in me. And so I decided to cut that thing up. And ultimately, I wrote 3 patterns: Solar Flare, Magnolia Miles, and Dancing Fleur-de-lis. And that really brought my quilt pattern writing to another level. And now that I'm a quilt pattern writer, I love being able to share it with other people. I love hearing the feedback of what people think of what I'm designing. A lot of times, when I go to a business to business conference where we get to see a lot of the fabrics that will be released in the next year, I don't see a lot of what I like to do there. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but I'm looking forward to exploring more of that technique as fabrics are produced by fabric companies for me to work with. And I've gotten amazing feedback about it. And I will be sharing more of that on the channel as it comes about. Right now, I'm on a tangent with half square triangles. I just can't get enough of them. I love cutting them. I love pressing them. I have lots of tips to share about half square triangles and how to create a flat quilt, especially when you're working with fabrics that are cut on the bias. I don't know if you've ever had that happen where a quilt turned out wavy. Well, I have, and I've got some tips for you. So as I produce more and more material for this channel, I'm hoping that you'll be inspired and grow. I know I will be inspired to grow and learn new things. I will be your biggest cheerleader. So don't ever hesitate to leave a comment. I will always show up from a place of kindness and encouragement. So thank you again for subscribing to my channel, and I look forward to seeing you on the tube.